Well, I thought I had the right screen on. There we go. We're not ready for the door prizes yet. I thought sure I had that set up right. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. It looks like my voice might be off a little bit. Hopefully it's okay with you guys. It's probably because I'm sharing those two wheels. It kind of zaps the computer a little bit. Let's see who all's here. Oh, hi, Christy from Indianapolis, real close to me. Let's see. Oh, Jeanne. Hi, Jeanne from Oregon, and Paula from Wyoming. Glad you're here. And Brenda Crawford from Saskatchewan. Glad you're here. Let's see. Come on. It's not wanting to scroll. There we go. Oh, hi, Rita from Wisconsin. Barbara from North Carolina. Glad you're here. And Kathleen, thanks for coming. Let's see. And Marlene. Boy, this thing is really sluggish. I'm going to have to hurry up and get that door prize done so I can quit sharing the screen and it'll work a lot better. Oh, hi, Pat. Let's see. Marlene can't stay to watch live, but we'll catch replay. Oh, thanks, Marlene. I'm glad you say my card will be wonderful. I hope you like them. I've been really, I think I say this almost every single week, but this Night Divine bundle, I've been wanting to make cards with this for so long. We've had some nativity sets before. This one is by far the best. I'm really sad. They did come out with a retiring list. I need to always have to edit them a little bit because they make it to where you have to have a microscope to be able to read them. So I need to update those. But this Night Divine bundle, I think not everything in the suite. The suite is called Oh Holy Night. But I do remember the ribbon, the beautiful ribbon, which I'm going to use, that's been unavailable to order, is back in stock. But thankfully, that's going to stay around. That ribbon is gorgeous, and you're really going to like it, I think. But I'm sad to say this bundle, and also the star one, I'm thinking that one's retired too. I haven't had really good chance to look at the list yet. I think I saw that one's retired too. And Pat, I can't remember if I told you hi. Glad you're here. And hi, Marva. Glad you're here. Let's get this to scroll here. Crystal. Oh, hi, Crystal and Paula. Got a lot of people on already. Oh, thanks for sharing, Jeanne. I appreciate that. And Marilyn from Nebraska. I'm glad you're here. And Heather Manning from Washington. Okay, I think I got through everybody for right now. And I think since my computer, I can tell it's getting tired today, just like me. I got maybe 4 hours sleep last night. So let's see how this goes. It could get a little interesting. I won't fall asleep, I promise. I'm actually a little more awake than I have been for a while. Thumbs up. Thanks, Marva. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let's get this set up for our door prize. Let me show you what is showing up here. This were the door prizes from the last live. This one was the one that I chose, the Iridescent Pearl Basic Jewels. This is for everybody that watched the live. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that screen up. Let's see, make sure I'm doing the right one. I said show on stream. Why isn't it showing? There we go. Yep, this is a live door prize. Let me get that bigger. Do little things here in the background. Okay, we are ready. Let's see who's going to win. I need to pull this up a little bit so I can see it. There we go. Let's click and see who's going to win. This is everybody that watched live is what this wheel is last week. I changed that. I do this. I announce both winners in the live. Becky White. And Becky, I know I've got your address. Actually, I looked at my addresses earlier, so I will mail that out to you. Congratulations. I'm going to leave that up for just a second because I'm going to write her name down. Glad you won. I'm trying to remember if you've won before. I do know I have your address. Okay, now I'm going to pull up. This one is everybody that watched live and watched the replay. So this has got a few more names to it, and that's going to be the snowflake embellishments. I'll show you those here in just a minute. And let's go ahead and get that going. Let's see who's going to win this one. And the winner is Kathy Diane Jones Herzog. Let me see if I can get that written down quick. Kathy, I hope you're watching. I do not have your address. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember having that. So if you're watching on Facebook, you can message me and give me your address. If you're watching on YouTube, look down the video description and you'll see a contact me link, and you can click on that and send me your address. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this back. There we go. And then I can show you the snowflakes, because I don't know if I showed you those real close. These are online exclusives. And here, let me hurry up and stop sharing these two pictures. Now everything's going to work a little better. So here's the, they come in 2 different sizes. There's a 3. There might be 3 sizes in here. It's been a while since I've opened these up, but copper, gold, and white. So I know there are at least 2 different, no, they're small. There's the mediums, and I see some larger ones in the back. So these are really neat, and they are self-adhesive. So congratulations, Kathy. I'm glad you got that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the door prizes for today. The way this works, I do 1 door prize for everybody that comments live that lives in the United States per Stampin' Up rules, since I'm doing product. Plus, it saves on my shipping if I just keep it to the United States. If you live in the United States, I will put your name in the wheel and come back next week, and I'll announce the winner. So this is everybody that is watching live and comments will get put in this wheel that lives in the United States. These are the adhesive back speckled dots, and I'm pretty sure these are retiring too. Usually the embellishments do. So that one is everybody that watches live today and comments. I'll put you in that first wheel that you saw, and then I will announce that winner next week. And then everybody that watches this live and the replay, because I always want to include the people that watch the replay, because I know life's busy and sometimes it doesn't work out to be able to watch live. But these are the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. It's a little hard to see. These are blue ones up here. Misty Moonlight, I think. Fresh Freesia, and I can never remember the color of this one. But it's a real pretty color. It's like a green. I don't think it's Coastal Cabana, but it's close. It might be Coastal Cabana, but I really like these a lot. Well, thanks, Marianne, for sharing. I appreciate that. I'm going to start looking at my comments again. So everybody, so I explained all that. So I hope you guys, congratulations to those that won here tonight, though. Let's see, I'm going to look through some of my comments here before we get started. Oh yeah, this is working much better. Whenever I share a screen, it's always hard to do things. I do want to share. Let me get this going. Oh, I'm doing things in the background, so sometimes when I have to concentrate, I quit talking. Sorry about that. Well, it's not letting me do that. Well, I think I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, cancel. But I did want to tell you, I should have printed those pages out. I'm just going to start printing those pages out again like I used to. I'm trying to get fancy, and it doesn't work sometimes. So there is the seasonal sale. That ends in a few hours. Probably, let's see, in about 6 hours, that is, to be exact. It ends at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. And let's see, the ribbons and trims in the annual catalog are 10% off. The ink pads, ink refills, markers, and Stampin' Blends are 15% off. And then the cardstock, designer series paper, and specialty papers in the annual catalog are 20%. So all of those are from the annual catalog. Some things aren't available right now, but the vast majority of them are. So make sure you, if you want to place an order, get that placed by tonight, but make sure you use my host code. If you look down at the ticker or in the top right corner, you can see the host code, and it also explains how you can get my class free with a $40 order before shipping and tax using the host code. You will get the card kits to make each of the cards I'm making tonight. And I do the embossing and die cutting for you. There's a lot of die cutting in this one because the stamp, well, I'll show you the bundle here in just a minute, but the bundle has, greetings, beautiful greetings. I love the fonts on them. I think you like them too. But then the dies are what are the actual images. So I've got a lot of die cutting to do, but thankfully it's real easy die cutting to do. So that's what you get with your $40 order using the host code, and that is before shipping and tax. Make sure you look at the right total. So I've had a couple people miss it by like $1, so I don't want you to do that. So I've got these, but if you bump it up to a $50 order, you'll also get a full pack of the Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels. I would have used those little star trinkets we used to have, but those completely sold out. They're not available anymore. They don't have enough time to be able to get enough in before Christmas. So those are no longer available, but I'm going to show you how you can make stars, because I'm going to be using the Stars at Night hybrid embossing folder, and I'll show you that here in a minute. and you can make your own trinkets with the dies. So they're definitely easy to make. And these iridescent rhinestones are really pretty to add to it and give some sparkle to the stars. So $40 order before shipping and tax with the host code, you get the card kits. And $50 order before shipping and tax with the host code, you get the rhinestones. Now, if you place a $150 order before shipping and tax, make sure you take that host code off. You'll still get my card kits and the rhinestones from me, but I also want you to be able to get the Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up. I don't want you to miss that. Okay, looks like I missed a couple new people. Hi, Susan. And if I've missed, oh, Becky, I think you might have missed it. I think you're the one who just won. Let me look here real quick, make sure I'm remembering right. Yes, Becky, you won the the pearls here, but I've got your address. I remember, I don't know if you've won before or not, but I've got your address, so I'll get those mailed out to you. So I remember you giving it to me. So congratulations. And oh, thanks for sharing, Paul. I don't think I told you thank you yet. It's always hard to keep up with all these comments, but I try my best. If I miss some, I promise I do read them all when the video is over. Okay, there's, oh, hi, yeah, Jan. Oh, they got a bunch of congratulations. You guys are the best. Let's see. Oh, Geraldine, I missed you from Texas. Glad you're here. I know I said hi to Jan already. Mary Ann, I'm not seeing your whole name, but I'm glad you're here. And thanks for sharing. And Marva, I always, oh, you shared too. Thank you, guys. I think that's the most shared I've had. I appreciate that. Oh, hi, Myra from Iowa. Oh, Paula, did you spend a lot of money on the seasonal sale, huh? I bought a bunch of cardstock and stuff yesterday too. I needed to get some for my clubs, my card clubs. So, and then Debbie from Michigan. Okay, I'm going to start making some. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. I wanted to show you guys, if I can get a hold of it, this paper. Every once in a while, I show you paper because I know it is really hard to see it in the catalogs. Now, you can go to my online store, and if you're watching on YouTube, all the links that I talk about are down in the video description. And those of you watching on Facebook, if you go to the top of my Facebook page, you'll see a button that says Learn More. If you click on that, that will have a bunch of links to my YouTube channel, to my blog, all that fun stuff. So you can get those links there. But in my online store, you can see all the whole design. I'm a little bit too close, so you're almost seeing the whole thing. But isn't this neat? Oh, yes, I knew. Yes, Crystal and I actually got to talk on the phone. That was fun. Yeah, she bought a bunch of stamp pads. I know the cherry cobbler sold out because I was going to get, I think I might have told you that when we talked on the phone, I was going to be getting that and it disappeared right before I placed my order. I was like, I'll get that later. Oh, hi, Jenny. I'm glad you're back. And yeah, I did say hi to Debbie. I almost want to make sure I said hi to you, Debbie. But this paper is gorgeous. You could have a 12 by 12 shadow box, put this in, put some of the die cuts on here, just really make a pretty Christmas picture. You can also, this would be good for a scrapbook page, wouldn't it? Definitely just pop that in, but it is a 12 by 12. And then on the other side is just a regular pattern like that. Then we've got this one that can get a really neat desert scene. So you could even cut it up, like with this one, you could cut this up for cards too. You could, oh, hi, Karen. Glad you're here from Iowa. Oh, and you're fine. You haven't missed anything. You missed the door prize winners, but don't worry. You're going to be in for this round too because you commented. So you could cut this up and have a little scene on the hills. Up here, you can have a background with just the sky. I mean, there are a lot of different things you can do with that. Okay, then this is the other side to this one. Then there's this one, just has a lot of nice stars. Now, this is the one, I think I've got upside down. This is the one I'm using on one of the cards tonight. I'll turn that over. I had to pick designs that I could cut up completely so I'd have enough for all the card kits. This is a neat one. You could definitely cut this up in pieces, neat background, because this makes great silhouette cards with these dies. And that's even got a little bit of a design in it. So it's really pretty too. Oh, I love this one. That is so cool. It actually looks like it's lit up a little bit, doesn't it? And then there's this side. And then I'm also using this one. And here, it looks like my colors are changing. That's one thing about lives. You never know what the colors are going to look like. I kind of adjusted the camera a little bit, and it looked a lot better than it did last week. The colors weren't showing up much at all. Okay, now I want to show you the bundle because you'll understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking silhouettes. These are the images, and then you've got the stamp set that goes along with it. Aren't those wonderful? I love all of them. I'm not using all of them, but I'm coming real close. I think the only one I'm not using is the stars are brightly shining. I think that one is really pretty too. I almost did use it. I do too, Brenda. The papers are gorgeous. And I really like this. You'll see this in a minute, but this puts a wood grain in the manger frame too, which is really cool. Now I'm going to be using the actual kits that you get in the card kit. So mine are already all die cut. So I won't be doing any die cutting here during the video since I've already got all that done. But that is the Night Divine bundle. And I am using also the Stars at Night hybrid embossing folder. Now, when you look at the title, you think all you're getting is an embossing folder and think, boy, that's an expensive embossing folder. It's actually has dies with it too. So whenever you see hybrid embossing folder, you get dies too. And see what I mean about all the stars you can all the stars you can make. Now I'm going to be using these on the first card, and I love that we've got two of them, and I'm using two on the card also. And then on this last card, I'll be using these dies to make a silver star. But there's so many different things you can do. Now, what I should have done was set up my embossing thing to show you how this works. But with the hybrid folder, wherever you see the Stampin' Up logo. Oh, hi, Anne from Australia. I'm glad you're here. You can see how there are these three big stars. Well, maybe you can't. There are three big stars right here. Where the logo side is, you grab this big die here, and these actually lock into place. I've got them right in there, and it's locked in. So I'll bring this up a little closer so you can see it again. And then I would put a piece of cardstock in there, close this up, use the same sandwich that you use for a 3D folder. So it's the big base platform, and then that gray specialty plate goes on top of it. You run it through, and it will die cut and emboss these three stars for you. But tonight, I'm just going to be using this as an embossing folder. But that's what the hybrid folders do. It is really cool. I love these. Okay, and Anne, don't worry. I just noticed that you also said you're late. You're good. I haven't started making cards yet. I'm just showing what I'm using real quick. Mostly using the deckled rectangle dies. I'm just using the small one. I go through all of this. Oh, that way those that make the card kits know what I used. And then his is the largest circle out of the stylish circle dies. But like I said, I do all the die cutting for you. So you do not have to own these die sets to be able to make your cards. Okay, now I'm ready to get going. So I'm going to bring in the first kit. This is actually the first card I made. And I am going to be doing some heat embossing, which I haven't done for a class before. I've done it in other videos and things. It's actually one of the first techniques I learned years ago when I started making cards. So those of you that are new, to making cards or stamping, you're going to really like this technique. But you don't have, if you don't have any heating or the heat tool, this is the heat tool that you need. I've got the gold embossing powder. I put mine in a little container. And then there's a kit that's called the Embossing Editions Toolkit. You get a little powder pal, so you don't have to have these little containers that you can put your, I'll explain it better. I'll tell you here in a minute. Then you get the brush, this embossing buddy, you'll love that. And you also get these really neat tweezers. These are great, and you'll see those in action here in a minute. But if you don't have any heat embossing stuff, all you need to do is just stamp with Night of Navy, and it'll work just as good. So I'll show you that as I'm making the cards. Okay, this is a piece of Misty Moonlight. It's 8.5 by 5.5. Did that wrong. 5.5 by 8.5. Remember, I only had about 4 hours sleep last night, so I'm going to be making a ton of mistakes tonight. So I'm going to go ahead, get these corners lined up. I did stay up making these cards, but I got to bed a little later than I normally do. Not too bad. I just could not fall asleep. I could not turn my brain off. That's why I didn't get much sleep. Okay, so I've got this here. Now this is what that embossing folder looks like when you only emboss. Isn't that cool? Oh, hi, Barbara, watching from North Carolina. There we go. I don't think I've been to North Carolina, but I have a friend that lives there, so I know she loves it. So there we go. And what I'm going to do, let's see, do I want to put this on? Yes, I do. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the card base. This is Night of Navy, by the way. I don't know if I said that. 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to turn this over. This side looks kind of cool too. I don't know if you can see the difference. That's the, I guess you call the deboss side. And then this one, so you can use whichever side you like the best. I'm going to have the embossed one showing at the top. And when you emboss, you just do it like you do with the 3D embossing folders. That same sandwich I told you a minute ago when I was explaining how the hybrid folders work. You just don't put the dies in. Okay, so there you've got Night of Navy and Misty Moonlight. Oh yeah, the colors are doing much better than they did last week. Yay, I think I got it set up right. Okay, now I am going to bring in my silicone craft mat. So I'm going to do a little gluing. And this is what I was talking about. Hopefully I can get this to show. Oh, there you go. You see all the wood grain in there? So I just used a piece of crumb cake that was 4 by 5 and die cut this out. So I love it when the dies emboss and die cut really quick. Oh, thanks, Christy. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to be using this piece of that Oh Holy Night DSP. And for those of you who don't know what DSP means, it's designer series paper. That's what our pattern paper is called. This is a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inch piece. And I'm going to be turning this upside down. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to grab my glue. I'm just going to put, oops. Oh, I got the one that I might even get my other one out. But my silicone mat will fix this. I'm going to put some right across here. When it first starts, it comes out in a big glob. I don't know why. Seems like it always gets an air bubble. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't want to work. There we go. Only on live TV. Okay, so I'm just going around the outside perimeter of this. And I don't want this to ooze down here, so I'm going to take this and take some of that glue off. Make it so it's not so thick. Try and get all about the same spot so I can keep using this. Okay, and then once that dries, I can peel that right off. Now, it doesn't matter which way. Well, actually it does. I want these to be going long ways. I think that looks a little better. So I'll just turn this over like so. And it's going to go right in here. And I want to cover that window. It's going to go on just like so. Hold it down. I always put a little pressure down when I use glue. That helps it soak in and it works a lot better. Okay, so now that is ready. Oops, I forgot something. Let's see if I can get this off. I did that. Oh, good. That's another good thing about glue. When it's still wet, I'm just going to bring these up because that's all I need to bring up. I'm going to leave that top up there. So I'm glad you guys are watching before you start making these because I totally forgot what I wanted to do. I'm going to hurry up and put that to the side for right now. When I originally made this card, I didn't think to do it this way until after the card was made. So that's why I forgot this step. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. This is a piece of vellum cardstock. It is a 3 1/4 inch by 3/4 inch. Go ahead and close this up because I don't need it right now. And I'm going to do some embossing. So I'm going to grab this. This is called an embossing buddy. It's part of that embossing editions toolkit. What this does, it's got like a powder in it, and it takes all the moisture and static out of your paper because you want this to be good and dry, and you'll understand that here in just a minute. And then I'm going to grab this Versamark pad. This is a watermark ink pad. It can make a watermark stamping, but it also is really good for embossing. And it stays wet for like 10, 15 minutes, I think it is. So I'm going to grab this Joy and Peace. Oh, hi, Polly. Oh, I'm glad you've got these dies. I love them. These are the first cards I've made. I knew I was going to love this. Like I said earlier, this is my favorite nativity set that we've ever had. Now, this just happens to be my stamp. Yours may be different because when they put it in the die machine to cut it, sometimes they're all a little different. But I've got more rubber down here at the bottom. So I'm going to kind of line this up closer to the bottom of my vellum. Now you probably can't see the vellum very well, but you'll see it better once I start embossing on it. So there we go. You're not going to see this, but there is a watermark and it says Joy and Peace. I'm going to take my gold embossing embossing powder, and I'm going to take this away. I don't want to get this hot. That heat tool gets super hot and I don't want to start melting that. So I'm going to grab this. I've already got some of the embossing powder out, so I'll just go ahead and do this. You just put this right on top and flick it off. Now, you know how I had all that rubber? It looks like I got some. Oh, I'm going to get out of screen. I got some where I didn't want it. So I'm going to grab that trusty brush that comes in the kit. That is, if I did, where did I put it? I had it just a second ago. Oh, there, right here. Would have been snake. It would have bit me. Okay, I'm going to just take this off. You can also just use your finger too. I want to get that off, the powder off, before I start melting it. So I can take that little thing off, that little mistake off, and nobody's going to know, that be the wiser. Okay, kind of flick it a little bit. There we go. So now you can see the Joy and Peace because it's got that powder. I think I'm going to put a little bit more here on this P because I think I knocked too much off. That's better. Okay, now put this to the side. I'm going to grab my tweezers because I do not want to burn my fingers. Now these you just kind of push, and when you let go of them, they close shut. And I did get a little more on there. So your finger works just as good sometimes better than the brush. So I can get right up against there. I was afraid the bristles were going to take more off than what I wanted. Now, before I get this up, I'm going to turn this on. Our heat tool has two different temperatures. It's got 1 and 2. When you heat emboss, you want to go up to 2. That's the hottest. I kind of put this to the side because it does help to get it to heat up a little bit. Now, I am not going to put my hand very close because I think it gets up to like 600 degrees. If I remember right, it gets really, really hot. But it works better if you get it heated up for a little bit. And then I'm going to bring this a little closer. It might take a little longer because it's up in the air. Let's see how this works. Oh, there. See how the gold is getting shiny? See that? There you go. So the middle is already melted. You can see how the Joy is still dark looking. So I'll put this on here again. And I'm not getting real close because vellum will start to curl if you get it too hot. There we go. And now, like magic, it's got that really pretty gold embossing to it. Okay, now the reason I wanted to get the sides back up is because with vellum, you don't want to put adhesive on here where you can see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab, I think it's going to be easier with glue dots. I'm going to put a glue dot on each end, like so. That should be plenty. But these two ends are going to be hidden underneath the manger. I had thought of this, like I said, after I made my first card and had to improvise. And that's why I messed up and forgot the step. So I'm going to put it up here near the top. I'm just going to lay it down first to make sure I've got it where I want it. I think I'm going to move it over just a little bit. Oh yeah, that's going to be fine. So flatten it out, get that down. I'm going to put glue on this again because I'm sure it's too dry. So if you ever make the mistake I did, this is how you fix it. Boy, I wish that would quit coming out so fast. I think I'm going to get my other one out. Got another one right here next to me. Come on. It either comes out too much or doesn't want to come out at all. And I'm going to hurry up and get a little bit of that off. I think the other one's okay. All right, so now bring this down. My glue dots are showing just a little bit, but not bad, so I'm not going to worry about it. But there, now we've got the Joy and Peace. And what you could do too, you could just put it on the glue. That's actually the better way to do it. I had to improvise since I already had this glued down. But there's a good way to get that down. Oh yeah, Becky, did you just get it? Yep. Like I said, this is the first time I've used it. I really like it a lot. A lot of times I sell my retired stuff. I think I'll be keeping this one because I really like it. Okay, so that is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on this now. I'm just going to put it on the DSP part. I'm not going to worry about, actually, I could put a little bit of glue. I'm going to grab my other one. Oh, wait a minute. Here's another thing you can do. Since this is still wet, I'm just going to put a little bit there in that top corner. That'll hold it down just right. And this will just go here in the middle. So that way I didn't waste any glue. Okay, so now that is ready to go. And you could end it there if you wanted to, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to grab this. You will get, since these are little, the stars, I was afraid they would get lost the way I usually package these. I put them in the envelopes. So every once in a while, I'll get these little Ziploc bags I have out. That way you don't lose them. Looks like I've got little pieces in here. There we go. So this is one of those stars. These were both done with a 2-inch, let's see here. Yeah, 2 by 1 inch piece of gold foil. We've had this gold foil for a while. But what I'm going to do, I think this is easier to do with glue dots. So I'll just put this one on here. And so I don't lose this one, I'm going to put that one on there. So that way it'll be stuck. Okay, I'm going to be putting this one right up here. Like so. So you don't have to have those star trinkets. This is making a pretty star. Nice and shiny with that gold foil. And then I'm going to grab these. I love the detail. Oops, the detail to these. I think you can see that. And it's not really embossing. It's actually cut things in it. Now, when you get this, if you get the kits, there may be a few little pieces you have to take out because I can tell there's a little one I need to take out right here. And then there's one right here with the shepherd's staff. Get that taken out. There we go. And I think that's it. So there, that got a little more detail. I'm going to turn this over. Now with this being black, and the only dimensionals I'm using in this class are my black ones, because these will be hidden a lot better. I'm going to use the mini ones. That's a neat thing about the black ones. You get both sizes in one pack. So you get 2 sheets of the little ones. I think it's 2 sheets and 2 sheets of the big ones. So right now I'll just use the little ones. I'm going to put the one there, one in each corner. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some with Mary and Joseph too. So the head might be a little bit too, here I'll put down here, it's a little bit wider. It's a little bit wider here than her head. Same with Joseph. And I'm going to go ahead and do that too, because I do not want that caving in on me. So with the mini ones, you end up using a little bit more than you would the big ones, but the big ones are definitely too big. I'm not going to worry about putting one on the manger. It'll be fine. Now I always use, you can just use your fingers, but I always like to use my take your pick tool. And what I do, I go at an angle and scoop them up. And then they stay usually on my take your pick tool, and then I can just take them off and throw them away before they start flying everywhere. Now I'm taking off so many, it can't quite handle it. I probably should have taken some off before. There we go. Usually I don't have that many. That's 8. So I'll turn this over. Thankfully, they give you a ton of the mini ones. Now, I don't know if you noticed on this one, I didn't go all the way to the bottom with the paper. I know that looks kind of funny, but it's not going to here in a minute. I'm just going to put this right across here. So this is actually going to line up with the bottom part of the manger. And it is just wide enough that it's going to cover up that empty spot. Okay, maybe a little bit higher. There we go. So now we've got the silhouette of the manger scene. And now I still need to put some bling on it. Oh, I want to get this too. Let me bring, where did I put my, there we go. I always use my Stampin' Pierce mat, even with our cling stamp sets that are rubber. I just think it still stamps better that way. So I'm going to grab this other star again. I'm going to put this near the center. I'm actually going to use my grid paper a little bit. I think that's the middle stripe there, or line there. So I'm going to put it about right there. I'm not putting it down real tight because I think I can still pull that up, because I'm going to bring in this big stamp. It says, "He shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." I love this stamp. And I'm going to use the Night of Navy ink. Oh, hi, Cookie. Yeah, this is the very first card, so you haven't missed too much. Now that's inked up really good with the Knight of Navy. I'm going to put it right underneath the star. Try to center it. Bring it down. I always hold it down for a few seconds. There we go. So it's got the star on the top. I put the star on there first because I was afraid I was going to get that up too high. I want to make sure I had enough room. So the inside is done. So I'll get this on the inside of the card. Oops. A little bit more in that corner. There are a lot of blues to these cards. I was using the colors in that Oh Holy Night paper, DSP. So there's the inside. Oh, Kathy, you're not watching the replay. This is actually live. So there we go. You just missed the very beginning of it, but you can watch, once it's over, you can watch the replay and see me make this card. This is the first one. But you actually made it live. I'm glad you're here. So there's that, but I'm going to grab those rhinestones. I'm using my pack. Now I'm going to put a large one right there on that star. So I'm going to grab, see, did I use a large? You could use a large one or a medium one. I went ahead and used a large one. That's going to fill in that center of that star, and that's going to make it even shinier. It's a little hard to show it how neat it looks in person. The iridescent rhinestones, I like the regular rhinestones too, but these having the different colors, you know how iridescent are. They have that like pinks and stuff in it. It really looks neat. So there we go. Oh, thanks, Rita. I'm glad you're liking it. And then I'm going to grab these small ones now. You see how they're little stars in that paper? You don't have to do every single one. This one's got more stars than my original did. So I'm just going to pick a few of them. There's one there. So these are the smallest ones. Like I said, you can do all of them if you want to, but I don't want to use up all my rhinestones. So there's 3 of them. I think that looks pretty good. Actually, I'm thinking I'm going to put one here. There we go. So that gets those sparkly too. So that is the first card. I like this one, but I think I like the next 2 the best. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up for it. I'm making a mess. It's only the first card. Okay. So what do I want to do first on this one? Like I said, there's not a lot of stamping on this one. This one I'm using lighter blues. Let's see, Kathy. Let's see. Oh, Kathy, I think I missed your first comment, but I'll go back and look at it here in a little bit. Oh, thanks, Karen. I'm glad you like it. Thanks, Lorraine. Let's see, I think I need to go up a little bit. Okay. I love being able to see everybody's comments at once, but then when sometimes I can't keep up with them. But like I said, I promise I do go back and read them. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. But my first card and my last card are more the darker blues. That I want to make sure I use a lighter blue. So this is boho blue. Love this color. This is one of the new in colors. So I'll go ahead and get the card base ready. This is another 5.5 by 8.5. Get those corners lined up. Okay. And now I'm going to grab, I've got 2 pieces of Very Vanilla. They're the same size. They're both 4" by 5 1/4. This one, I'm going to be putting these papers on. This is from the, what is it called again? I can't remember. Oh, Shining Brightly Specialty DSP. There are 3 designs in the Knight of Navy and 3 designs in this Very Vanilla. And they all have that gold foil. So it's, let me think here, 6 sheets because you only get 1 of each. I should have brought, well, I didn't bring it over because I've been using a lot of it. I had to buy another pack so I'd have enough for the card kits, but I don't have that yet. But the blue one has a design just like this. I think the only one design I didn't use, there's one that has a bunch of little stars all over it. And it comes in the Knight of Navy and the Very Vanilla also. But that's this design. So you can get this one. It's also in blue. Actually, I used the Knight of Navy in another one. The last card. I forgot about that. But this time I'm using the Very Vanilla. And I'm going to put it down here at the bottom edge of this very vanilla piece. And I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to put this one on the other end. Like so. Oh, and I was going to show you, I'm going to bring in the first card again before I forget, because I know me, I'm going to forget. So I first get these on here. Okay. So I'm going to put this aside for just a second. I wanted to show you how this, if I was saying if you didn't have embossing supplies, you can use Night of Navy. So I'm going to show you how it still shows up with the Night of Navy too. It just won't shine, but the Night of Navy still works really good. So you can definitely use Night of Navy ink also. I'm actually only using 2 ink pads this whole class, just the Night of Navy and the Versamark. And if you don't use the Versamark to emboss, then you just need the Night of Navy. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, I love that gold foil too. It's so pretty. So now I'm going to grab this. This is a 4 by 4 inch piece of boho blue. And what I did, like I said, yours will all be die cut if you get the kits. But I took the largest circle of the Stylish Shapes dies, put this right in the middle, and die cut that circle out. And then I ran it through the Stars at Night hybrid embossing folder. And that's how it got the embossing. So you want to die cut first and then emboss, because if I had embossed first, it probably wouldn't have cut as well. And also it would have smashed the embossing I did going through again. So that's why you do the circle first and then the embossing. Oh, thanks, Michelle. So what I'm going to do, I went back and forth on this. I'm going to show you what I ended up doing, but I'll show you the what it looks like before I put it together the other way. This is a piece of vellum. It is a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 inch piece. And I'm going to bring in this again. And I'm going to emboss. Now, this is what it looked like with the blue. So you can tell how the blue still works. So it would be right there. So you can definitely still use the Night of Navy. I want to make sure you knew that. And with it being vellum, that's another thing I want to tell you. Let it air dry. If you don't have the heat tool, because I use the heat tool to make it dry faster, but you don't have to have this. You can let it sit for a while, or you can even use probably a hair dryer to at least get it dry. Hair dryer doesn't get hot enough to heat emboss, but it could probably dry that ink a little faster for you, because it does take a little while, because this does not, the ink can't soak in since this is slippery vellum. But that's that in Night of Navy. So you can definitely use that if you don't have heat embossing supplies. So I'm going to get this ready for embossing again, like I did the first one. I'm going to take my embossing buddy and just put it all over here. It takes all of the moisture out of the paper or the vellum, as this is. That works. You want to do that with your cardstock too if you emboss on cardstock. Okay, now, just so I know where to stamp this, I'm going to be doing Glory to God in the Highest. I think I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with my Versamark, so it's good and ready. Like I said, this ink stays wet for like 10 to 15 minutes for the reason of embossing, because you want it to stay wet for a little while. Our regular classics, these dry almost instantly, except on the vellum, like I said. Regular cardstock, it dries really quick. So I'm going to lay this down. I kind of like this long, skinny one to be here on the left. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to turn this over and make sure I put that vellum close to the center for now. So you can see how I've got that. It's a little bit smaller than my cardstock. Let's see, Michelle, you've got a love-hate relationship with that powder. It's definitely easier if you use this embossing buddy to get that moisture out. Because I know when I don't do that and it gets stuck places I don't want it, I get mad at it too. So now I've got that vellum where I want it. So I'm going to stamp the Glory in the Highest near the top. And it's okay if it doesn't get centered just right. The paper cardstock just moved, but the vellum didn't. Because I can move this paper, the vellum around to get it right where I want it. But that just gives me an idea where I want it. And you can't see it, but it does say Glory to God in the Highest. So I'm going to bring in my embossing powder again. I don't have a ton in here, so I think I'm going to open this one up again. That's plenty that's in there, but it's a little hard to get to, and I want to make this a little faster. Okay, get some of that off. I did it again. I got the ink on the edges. When I made this is the one I made this morning. I had no problems whatsoever. But like I said, it's an easy fix. You just take the brush and get that all brushed off before you start heat embossing. There we go. Good as new. And there's this. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on. But since I keep it in this container, it's not as big a deal if I don't, because it'll stay inside the container. Now I'm going to grab my tweezers again. The heat tool is probably still warm from the last time, so I'm not going to worry about warming it up first. I'm going to get this going here first. Oh, it looks like I got a little bit where I don't want it. Make sure it's off of there. And I'll bring it closer when it starts to melt. And this one's not going quite as fast because it did cool off a little bit. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to do it again to where, see the right side of Glory is getting shiny because it melted, and the rest of it's still that dull powder. And don't go back and forth because that takes forever for it to melt. So I just go to one spot, and when it starts melting, then I move it a little bit to get the other spots. There we go. That looks good. And with the vellum, I don't get as close as I do with cardstock. Like I said, I just don't want to get that want that to melt. So now I've got that shiny right there. Glory to God in the highest. And let's see, what do I want to do next? Oh, this is one thing I wanted to explain. So I had forgotten I was going to do this. I'm going to be putting the nativity scene here in the front because I kind of liked it showing up a little darker. If you want it lighter, you could have them in the back too. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. Just have something different. That actually does look pretty good. So what I'm going to do, the hard part though is the glue. Let me think. That may not, oh, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. First off, I'm going to attach this on here. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive back here. Actually, I wanted this popped up. That's right. It looks, I think the frame looks a little better popped up. So now that I'm doing this different than I did my original, I'm having to think how I want to do this. So I'm going to put the big black dimensionals on each corner close to the circle. Oops. Now, I'm not sure. The sides, for some reason, seem to be a little wider. Yep, that is going to fit. If they're a little too wide, then get those minis out that are in the set. But I'm making sure the flat sides are on the left and right. If those points are out, I don't want those points showing here on the outside. And I think I'm even going to do up here. Once again, I just don't want them to cave in. Oh, no, there's plenty of room for that. Good, so I did get it in the center. Okay. I'm going to take the backings off. I'm going to grab my silicone mat again. And the glue has all dried that I used earlier. So now I'm just going to wipe that off. I don't know if you can see that or not, probably not, but all that glue dried up and now it's gone. I want to get it off of there so that way I don't want to get any of this rubbery glue on my project. Okay, I'm going to take the paper backings off. Because originally I was thinking I could put some glue on the, I take those off. When you get too many, it doesn't like to come off very well. There we go. Because I was thinking, well, I could just put a little glue on the outside of these and put them on there. But then you're going to see darker spots where the glue was through the vellum. And that's not going to look right. So that's why I'm going to do it this way. So I've got this here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to get that glory there in the center. Oops. I'm just laying it down very easy. That way I can lift it back up again if I need to. That's pretty good. So put that down. So that vellum is attached. Now, per chance, if you have vellum showing from the outside, mine ended up working out okay. You can take your scissors and just clip off the vellum that's showing from the outside. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I'm glad you think it's cool. Let's see. So you like people in the back of the vellum. I'm thinking I'm going to like this better too. After I started playing around with that, so I thought I'm going to try this. So the other way I did it, I just put, like I said, put this on, and then I put this on the vellum, and then I put the frame on. But now I'm going to do it the other way. So what I can do, I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of these. Like I said, I'm thinking this through as I'm doing this. So let's see if this is going to work. So I'll just put some in different places here in the back. Like I said, if I put this on, it really shows up dark. Well, you can't tell too much, but I'm starting to see a little dark. I'm not putting it on real hard because I don't want it to stick. So I'm going to just lay this down. Kind of gives me an idea where I want it. I'm going to lay this down really easy. That's the nice thing with seal. If you don't push it down, you can lift it back up again really, really easy. Oh, cool. That looks really good. So I'm going to push this down. So I think it's better to glue it on the vanilla. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some seal. You could use glue dots if you want to too, but I am making sure I only put it where the vellum is on the cardstock. I don't want any of the adhesive showing in that window. Let me put a little bit here at the bottom. I'm making sure none of that adhesive shows because it definitely has puts dark areas in the vellum if you have the adhesive showing. And I want to make sure that these edges are all lined up. I want to cover up this whole vanilla piece here and only have the DSP show on the top and bottom. And I'm also looking, I'm going to raise it up a little bit. So I'm looking at my nativity scene. Oh yeah, I do like this a lot better. There we go. And I will show my original so you can see the difference. So you can decide which way you want to do it. So that worked out really good. And I got a little glue thing on there. There we go. Isn't that cool? Yep, I definitely like it better behind the vellum. Oh, thanks, Becky. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this over. Let's see. What if you just put glue to the back of the piece? I'm not sure which piece are you talking about. I'm not sure if, like, I put it on the vellum. I couldn't put it on here because the vellum was in the way, so I couldn't put it on the actual cardstock because the vellum was preventing me from getting anything on there because those dimensionals have the cardstock raised up. And you could put it on here, but I was afraid I might on the I'm sorry, when I say here I mean the vanilla, but I was afraid I might get it in different places, and I want to be able to see where that window is at. Okay. Oh, Michelle, so like I did. Okay. So there I've got that. That's like I've said before, the one thing with lives, I see your comment to me probably 2 or 3 minutes later, and there's such a big delay. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't know if we're on the same page or not. Okay, so now that this is all ready, I'm going to put it on my card base. Oops, it looks like I've got a little blue hanging. That's not enough to mess with. I could cut that off, but I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, come on, seal. There we go. Make sure your fold is on the left. I thought about using a darker blue card base, but I thought that looked really pretty. Like I said, the other two are dark enough as it is, so I thought we needed a light one in the class. Oh, does it keep freezing up? Hopefully it's not freezing up on anybody else. On my end, it looks like it isn't. It could be your internet. Are you getting a lot of rain down there, Michelle? Because I heard Florida is getting hit. Parts of Florida is getting hit like crazy. It could be messing up your internet a little bit. You might need, I've had people tell me this, sometimes if you refresh the picture, you might have to get off the internet and get back on again, things like that. Maybe that'll help. That's one thing with lives. You just never know what's going to happen. Now, this is the inside of the card. It is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. And I'm going to stamp a greeting on the inside of this one too. So I'm going to bring this back. I really liked this. Oh, Holy Night. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to stamp that at the top and still leave plenty of room. If you want to write some more or stamp a little more, you can for a greeting. Definitely enough room for you to put your name at the bottom. Hold that down for a few seconds. I just love the fonts in this set. There's the Oh Holy Night. Since there are no images in the stamp set, that's why I'm not stamping any images. But the greetings are pretty enough as it is. They're almost like images instead of just words. Rain is better than snow, Kathy. Are you getting snow? And hopefully you're not. Okay. You have tons of rain, Michelle. I had a feeling. I thought of you when I was watching the news and they were talking about all the rain down there. But yeah, like Kathy was saying, it's glad it's not snow because I think it's like 1 inch of rain equals 10 inches of snow, something like that. Maybe not quite 10 inches, but I know it's close. That would be a blizzard for you guys for sure. Okay, so there is that. Let's see. Yeah, I love the fonts in this set, Marilyn. They're so pretty. Let's see, Susan, you love the nativity scene under the vellum. I do too. I really, really like how that turned out. Yeah, like I said, I'll show you my original, but I think that is a lot better. Every once in a while, I start thinking of different ways to change it during the class. A lot of times I'm not brave enough to change it while we're doing it, but that one I'm like, oh, we got to try that. I like that a lot. Yeah, that is cool. Okay, now I'm taking a piece of Night of Navy. This is a 12-inch piece. Oh, not just Night of Navy. This is called, I can never remember the whole name, Night of Navy and Gold Glittered Ribbon. It is so pretty. I'm so glad that this is not retiring. Oh, and I did forget to mention, I had said that this ribbon is back in stock. All of the embellishments, at least before the live started, all of the embellishments that were not available from the holiday mini, which is the September to December mini, are in stock, except for, like I said, the little star trinkets. Those they're not going to be able to get anymore. So they're totally sold out. They won't be coming back. And then, of course, those glow in the dark ghosts and bats, those sold out and Halloween's over. So we don't need those anymore. So that's okay. Oh, and I'm also the All About You Autumn DSP. That's completely sold out too. They weren't able to get another shipment in before fall was over. So, but all the embellishments that are still available are back in stock. So make sure you get those if you've been waiting on them like this. But like I said, this ribbon is still going to be available. Oh, thanks for sharing, Karen. I appreciate that. That's my granddaughter goes to the University of Iowa. Oh, I'm wondering, probably missed some of the talking here. I'll let you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm glad you guys do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow. And whenever I do a bow, I'm right-handed. I start here on the left side instead of doing it in the center. If you start in the center, all the wrapping is going to make it a lot shorter on one end. So I'm going to start here on the left, make my little loop, bring this around, and then it's going to end up more in the center because I started on the left. Now this ribbon is kind of, what do I want to say? It's not real soft, rigid. There we go. It's a little rigid, but it still makes really pretty bows. So you just kind of play around with it, kind of loosening it up. You twist it to where you want it. Because like I said, with it being rigid, sometimes it doesn't have wire in it, but it is kind of, reminds you of having wired ribbon, but it's not wired ribbon. That makes sense. And I kind of want the tails to go out just a little bit more. So I'm going to kind of play around with it. That's a little better. But oh, this ribbon is so pretty. That video I can tell is not doing it. Oh, there you can see the gold a little bit. But it is so pretty. I'm going to grab glue dots again. Put a glue dot on the back of my bow, where the knot's at. And I'm going to put this up here. This is I think this kind of makes it look like it's an ornament, which is kind of what I was going for. Kind of put it up a little bit higher because we still want to see that glory in the highest. And if you really are worried about it coming down too far, you could put like a glue dot behind the ribbon and attach it a little better. That way it doesn't come down too far, but I still think it looks pretty even it goes down just a little bit. And the glitter is coming off the ribbon just a little bit, but most of it will stay on. I'm going to grab my scissors and shorten it up, but make cut the ends at an angle a little bit. There we go. But isn't that pretty? Kind of, to me, that makes it look like it's an ornament. Oh, thanks, Karen. Glad you like it. Okay, now I'm going to put these iridescent rhinestones on again. I'm going to use the small ones. And but since this blue is raised with dimensionals, the vellum is lower, I'm going to put the small rhinestones on the lower part. Because like we were talking about, I think it was Karen, it might have been, I can't remember who it was, but talking about being able to mail it. I don't want to put rhinestones up here because that would make them come up a little bit too high. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put one right here. And where baby Jesus is, I'm going to put a little one right above the head. You don't have to do that if you want to try it somewhere else, but I thought that kind of made it look like a little bit of a halo. there next on his head. And then I'm going to grab another one and put one right here. So there we go. That is my second card. This one might be my favorite of the three. I really like the last one too, but I think this one might be my favorite. So I hope you like that one. There's the inside. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you the original. So that way you can see the difference. So if you want the blue to be a little darker, put it on the outside of the vellum. But yeah, I like it. I definitely like it better with behind the vellum. I think that looks a lot better. But there's two different options for you. Okay. Now we've got one last card. These are coming together pretty quick since I got all the die cutting done ahead of time. Oh, what am I doing? I got ready to show you the original. I don't want you to see it yet. Well, you've seen it if you saw my pictures I shared earlier today. But get these. Boy, I'm making a big mess. Okay, so this is going to be another dark card. This is that specialty paper. This is the Night of Navy. Let me bring this back in. See how that's got the vanilla? Here, let me show you. So this will give you an idea. I know we've got a little piece here. This is the exact same design as this vanilla one, but it's in the Night of Navy. So you'll get a 12 by 12 sheet with the vanilla and 12 by 12 sheet with the navy. And then there's this one here with the leaves. There's also a vanilla one with this design, one of each. And then the one, like I said, has a bunch of little stars all over it in the gold foil, in Night of Navy, and in the blue. Okay, so let me get this back over here. This is a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of Night of Navy. Go ahead and fold this in half and get that card going. Get my bone folder here. So we have got that ready to go. I'm going to grab, I only have one thing to stamp on this card, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that done. This is, so once again, because they're little pieces, you'll if you get the card kits, I'll have the little pieces in a bag. I didn't bother with the second card because it was only the nativity scene, and that one is big enough, it's not going to get lost in that envelope. But this is the smallest die of the deckled rectangles. Bring this in. I'm going to be using the stamp that says, "The Lord is my shepherd." I'm going to use Night of Navy. This one I'm not doing any heat embossing. Ink this up. And especially when there's a bunch of rubber around here, I will turn the stamp, have it face me, and then bring the ink pad to it. That way I can kind of tell that I've got it completely inked where I want it. And this is just going to go right in the center. And there we go. So we've got that ready to go. I don't know if you can see it very well, the deckled edges of that. We've got deckled, the rectangles, and we've also got deckled circles, and I use them all the time. I'm definitely getting my money's worth out of them. Okay, now I'm going to grab this piece. This is a 4 by 5.25 inch piece of Misty Moonlight. So yeah, if you've never put those two together, you can definitely see the difference between them. And then the boho blue is a whole lot lighter, so that way you can see the differences in the blues. Sometimes it's hard to tell in the catalogs. So I did not emboss this one because a lot of it's going to be covered up, so I didn't want to emboss and cover up all those stars. So I'm going to grab this piece here, get this closed up because I almost put the DSP in it. This is a 1.5 by 5.25 inch piece. I love gold and navy together. It is so pretty. And there it is. Get my seal on here. Well, since I'm done stamping, I'm going to get this pad out because I think the seal works a little better when you have a hard surface underneath. Okay, get some adhesive on here. And I'm going to put this on the left edge. So I'm lining up the edges of the DSP with the edges of the Misty Moonlight piece. I'm going to bring in this gorgeous ribbon again. This is a 7-inch piece. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Get my tear and tape. Get one that's longer. I want it to be wider than the ribbon. It's a lot easier to put on your thumb. I cannot remember who told me the first time I started using tear and tape, I wasn't putting it on my thumb and it was getting in the way. And I had somebody say, I've seen somebody put it on their thumb and it works so much better. I think I had it on my fingers and kept getting in the way. It was crazy. I highly recommend putting it on your thumb. So I'm kind of putting this on here. Now, if you want, this is kind of see-through. So you can see the DSP there. If you like that look, go for it. I'm going to put it right along the edge because I kind of liked it better just being on the cardstock. So wrap this around and attach that. Bring this back around, make sure I've got it straight. Looks pretty good. Bring this over here. Put that on, and then I'm going to push it down because I'm going to get all the air bubbles out because that'll keep the tear and tape attached when I start taking the paper backing off. Now put some seal on here. I gotta go this way here. And then I want to take those paper backings off. And I think it's a lot easier using the paper piercer of my Take Your Pick tool. I always start in between the ribbon and the end. If you start at the end, you're more apt to bring up the adhesive along with the paper backing. Same if you're closer to the ribbon. So you go in between, just kind of lightly pick at it, and that'll make it so you just get the paper. And if it does start bringing up the adhesive, stop, push it down again to make sure you got all those air bubbles out. And then it works a lot better. There we go. So I've got all of that taken care of. I liked this paper being on the left side. I'll just put it right there in the middle of the card base. And then I've got a piece. This is the other star. It's a different star design than I did on the first card. This is a 3x4" piece. And I thought it looked kind of plain. I wanted it to have a matte. Oh, bring this back down. Matte. So I'm going to put this on a 3¼ by 4¼ piece of Night of Navy cardstock. And this makes a nice light colored star scene if you want to too. It's more of a design though. It doesn't really look like a sky since they're all pretty, got a definite pattern to it. This definitely looks more like the sky with the stars every which way. But this will go right here in the center. And it is ready to be put on here. So go ahead and, well, whenever the seal, if I don't do the check mark just right, the seal goes down here and it doesn't work very well. So you just wheel it up again till you see the adhesive up here at the end of the roller. And then it works. Sometimes I forget to do that check and it ends up pulling it and it goes down too far and it doesn't want to work. So that's how you fix that. Figure out which way you like it better. I think I like these stars being up a little higher, so I'm going to turn it that way. And I'm putting it more to the right. I'm centering it up and down, but I wanted to show more of this beautiful foil paper. I didn't want to cover up more than I needed to. So that's the way that's going to look. Then let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get the inside done. This is a piece of basic white that's 4 by 5¼ And this is that other DSP design I was showing you, just like the vanilla one on this last card, 4 by 1 inch. I could have gone with the exact same design. Like I said, I've got to think of making sure I have enough for all the card kits. And this still looks really good, even though I'm using a different design. And since this is a Night of Navy card base, I decided to have a little bit of a white border down here. So that way it kind of separates it a little more from the inside of the card. So this time, instead of stamping greeting, I'm using paper. What I should have done, so I could have used all the stamps. I could have used that one. Oh, where'd the stamps go? Oh, all the stars shining bright, something like that. I put the stamp set somewhere. I'm not sure where I put it. Oh, and now I see it. Yeah, the stars are brightly shining. I could have put that up at the top too. So I could have used them all, but that's all right. So there, that's ready to go. Now I'm going to bring in all my little pieces here that are left. Oh, bring this greeting back in. I don't want to put that on just yet though. Get these out. Now what I did, these are done with our, we've got a pack that's called Silver Foil Specialty Pack. One is a real dark looking color and it's silver and it's charcoal. There's another one that is, I can never remember all the names. I think this is the brushed silver because it really looks silver. There's another one that's, I think it's iridescent silver maybe or something like that. I need to look that up again. I can't remember. And it's got a purplish look to it because it's the iridescent type look. But what I used the Stars at Night. Like I said, this is the hybrid folder, but I'm just using the dies that come with the folder. And I use this star here and this one right here. And they both make that little design in the foil. Oh, there we go. When the light shines on, it's really hard to see that. There we go. Now I could just put the star on like this, but I thought this little one is going to look really good on top of it. So I'm going to grab my glue dots. I'm just going to put this right here. I think it was glue dots I used. No, I didn't. I just remembered. Glue dots will definitely work. But I'm going to take, if I can find my mini black dimensionals. I had them out. They're the big ones. The big ones are too big. Well, I can grab the white ones. I don't have to use the black. Oh, here they are. They were upside down. That's what it looked like. So that's why I couldn't see it. So I'm going to take a mini black dimensional, turn this star over, and just put this right in the middle. It just fits because I don't want to see any of that dimensional here on the outside, and you can't. Okay. I'm going to take the paper backing off. But I just thought this looked, like I said, you can definitely use a glue dot, but I thought it looked a lot neater having this top one raised up a little bit. And I'm going to have the points of this go in the valleys of this. And because there's that center, it's hard to show. There we go. That center thing. That's where I'm going to put this right here. So it's going to look just like this. Move it over just a little bit. There we go. So that just makes a more finished looking star. I really like that. And I thought I'd go with silver for a change instead of the gold. That's what we've been using so far. These are all done in Pebbled Path cardstock. This is a new in color, and it's one of the colors that's in the paper. So there is a die to do the camel, and there's a die to do the donkey. And this one, since I was using the camel, I wanted to use the wise man that was on the nativity scene. So when you get your kit, you're just going to get a partial. So all I did was die cut that, but I don't want this part here, Joseph, on there anymore, but I still want that lamb on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my paper snips. I'm just going to go right next, kind of do it at an angle maybe. Right there next to the legs of the little sheep right there. Okay. So that's what you want it to look like. First off, I'm going to put, so I'm going to throw this away. I'm going to put some glue on here. I'm going to do glue. You can definitely use seal if you want to, but these legs are really long. And if you use seal and skinny, you're going to get glue showing here in the openings. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to grab my other glue that's not coming out in globs like my other one. I'm going to start in the big area first, though. I'm just going to put just a very little bit, mainly down here where the hooves are, because I want that. That'll keep it down for me. Get a little bit on the head. You don't need much glue. And it's kind of nice to have some dry areas so you can hold on to it. And I'm going to put this down here in the bottom right. I'm going to have the bottom of his hoofs be along the bottom edge of the DSP. But then his, like the right side of him is going on the Night of Navy mat just a little bit. So there we go. So we've got the silhouette of the camel. I could have used black, but I wanted it to be just a little bit lighter. I thought I was going to make it a little too dark since we've got all these really dark colors already. So there's the Pebbled Path. I'm going to grab my wise man. Put a little bit of glue on here. And he is going to go on the far left and have him hang over the DSP just a little bit, but the bottom of him is lined up right with the bottom edge of the DSP. Okay, and then I decided I wanted to pop my little donkey up. He's laying down. I'm going to grab my minis again. Put one on his head. And I'll just put a couple here on his body. Oops. Paper backing off of these. And since this is really not a good finished edge down here at the bottom, I'm going to cover that up just a little bit. So now you can't even tell. There we go. I liked him being popped up just a little bit because it makes it look like the wise man's a little behind the donkey. Okay, so that is all of the little images we're going to do. I'm going to grab The Lord is My Shepherd. I'm going to put this on with the regular seal. And I want it to hang over this a little bit. I don't want to go, I actually made it so I could see a little bit of the misty moonlight on the right side, just a little bit. And just go a little bit above the camel. And I'm just laying it down again in case I want to move it. And I'm going to grab my star, if I can get hold of it, and make sure I've got that about where I want it. I kind of like the star being above. And yes, you can use silver and gold together. I didn't used to, but we've had some really neat DSPs that actually even had silver, copper, and gold all together. So I wanted to brighten it up again. I was afraid that gold is going to make it a little bit too dark again. But nope, that looks good. So I'm going to push this down. I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. You could also use seal. I'm not going all the way to the point because I know that glue is going to move on me a little bit. Put this down. And I do like it going over the greeting just a little bit. That looks pretty straight. So hold it down, put some pressure to it. Looks like I'm missing a bunch of, I don't know why this isn't scrolling. Oh my goodness, I've missed so many comments. I am sorry, guys. I have not been ignoring you. This is supposed to scroll down and it didn't scroll down. And you're here. I didn't even know you were here. And Robin, hello. My goodness, this thing did not. I think I scrolled up and for some reason it didn't scroll back down. Normally when somebody puts a new comment, it keeps scrolling for me and it didn't. I missed a ton. Sorry about that, guys. I will come back and read them. I promise. That was weird. I'm going to have to remember that and watch that from now on. I missed a ton of comments. Okay, so there is that. Not done yet, though. I'm going to grab those rhinestones again, the iridescent ones. And I'm going to use, see, what did I do here? Try and look at my original. Did I just use small? Okay, I used 2 medium and a small one. So I'm going to grab a small one because since this is raised up a little bit, and you don't have to put any any rhinestone on there. It looks good without it. I'm going to put a little small one right there because that's not raised up too much. And then I'm going to grab some of these medium-sized ones since I hadn't used those yet. And they're going to be down here. And I'm going to just put it in a couple little places to make it look like there's some stars. There we go. And you can add more if you want to, but I think that's enough. So there is the last card. So let me bring them all in. Got some of these ink pads that have ink on them. I don't want to ruin my cards, so get those out of the way. There we go. So there is the last one. I'm going to bring both of these in since we changed it up. There's my original that did put the nativity scene on the outside of the vellum, and this is the one putting it behind it. And then, oops, we don't want to see the dies. And then there's the other card that I used. And like I said earlier, if you don't have embossing, like I embossed this in gold, and same with these, you can definitely use the Night of Navy ink pad. With it being vellum, make sure you dry it really good because it does smear if you don't, if it doesn't dry completely. Okay, I'm going to sit down here so I can see your comments. Well, I miss a ton. I hate that. Thanks, guys. I'm seeing a bunch of people saying you like it. I'm really glad. Thanks, Lorraine. Okay. My favorite card's number 2. I agree, Karen. I kept going back and forth. I like this one a lot. Well, this one actually a lot better. I like these two, but yeah, these two I had. This one is this one was the last one I made. These were the 2 I made last night, and this is the one I made this morning. But I actually had the idea in my head before I went to bed last night. I'm really glad it worked out. But yeah, I definitely like that behind the vellum instead. So I hope you enjoyed the class, and I hope you guys. I'll come back to the cards here again in a minute. But I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I can't believe Thanksgiving's next week. But since that is next Thursday, there will not be a live. I know we're all going to be busy, including me, spending time with our families for Thanksgiving. So I'll be back the next Thursday with a live. And it is a Christmas one. I think that might be the last Christmas one I do, because then after that, it's going to be getting into December. Unless I get a bunch of people telling me they want me to make another Christmas one, because I do have a couple more Christmas sets I could do a class for. But I'll probably end up doing maybe a winter one or something like that. But we'll see what I do. We've also got some really nice new products in the online exclusives. If you haven't checked that out when you're on YouTube, down below, there is a link to the online exclusives. In the Facebook, click that Learn More. I think you just have to go to the store and then find the online exclusives page in my store, and you'll be able to see them there. But there's some really neat ones there. So I might choose one of those in December too. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Mimi. I'd missed you earlier too. I'm sure you commented earlier. I hate that I missed so many. Oh, thanks, Becky. I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving. It was extremely warm today here in Indiana, but it's supposed to be back down in the 60s again. It got, well, actually, maybe even 50s. It got up to, I think, around 70 today. We've had some warm days again this week. We keep having what I think is an Indian summer, or whatever they call it now. And then it cools off, and then it gets warm again. So we'll see. Hopefully, don't mind it getting warm. It's messing up my sinuses. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, Lorraine. Okay. Oh, and it didn't scroll again. I'm missing a bunch of people again. Okay. Well, that's good. But I'm so glad you guys are here. I can tell I had a bunch of people on again tonight. The lives are slowly growing. I'm really like that. I'm glad you guys are here. So like I said, have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you 2 weeks from tonight. So I'll go ahead and show the cards just one more time real quick. Oh, and don't forget everybody that, for those of you that came in late, I've got my door prizes I do every week. This is the one. No, take that back. Let me think. How did I do this? I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. If you're watching the live and commenting and live in the United States, I'll put your name in the wheel, my draw prize wheel, and I will actually be 2 weeks that you'll find out who the winner is, since we're not going live next week. So everybody that comments here tonight watching the live will get put in the drawing for this. And then everybody that's commented during the live and everybody that watches the replay will be put in the drawing for these. And these are the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. And I'll announce both of these winners in 2 weeks at the next live. So you'll have 2 weeks to be able to watch this live to be able to put in the drawing for this. Okay, but this class too, I keep forgetting to tell you this. The way I'd run these, if you place an order, the class starts on the Thursday of the live and then ends on the following Wednesday. So you've got until next Wednesday using that host code you see in the ticker. It's been showing all through the whole video. Make sure you get that placed by the end of the day next Wednesday. That would be the day before Thanksgiving. Oh, hi, Carmel from Texas. Glad you're here. Gladys. Just saw you, all three of them. Let's see, I like all three. Oh, thanks. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are liking them. Okay, that is it. I will see you guys 2 weeks, and I'll have some recorded videos too, but I will see you live in a couple weeks. Bye, guys.